Hey everyone, Scott or the Scottman, and we're here on I-75 to do a driving video today. As I've done on my YouTube channel, I've covered many stretches of I-75 from the Michigan-Ohio border, although technically I even have a segment in Toledo going all the way up to the Mackinac Bridge. So we're here to film another segment which I have not filmed yet. We're near Standish, Michigan right now. We just passed the exit for 23 as it branches off I-75 to go to Standish and then to the Tawas area in Alpena. So we'll be filming this all the way to M-55 just west of West Branch. Okay, once you get north of Standish, we start to get into more of the wooded and forested areas of the state of Michigan. Although it doesn't really look like much right now, it's still the farmland that you see all throughout the Tri-Cities area, but things will change pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning today. Like, you can hardly see any clouds in the sky. Skies are nice and blue. In fact, we had a cold front come through the night before last, so it's nice and cool out right now. Which is a nice relief, especially after having a pretty bad heat wave here. Because we had highs get into the 90s this past weekend, even last weekend. In fact, the same heat wave is pretty much played much of the United States and even into Canada. There's been a lot, like the heat wave even extended all the way over into Quebec, and I think there at least 20 or 30 people died over in Canada because of the heat wave. It's been pretty bad. So it's always nice to see a nice sigh of relief. Although it's supposed to get up to 90 again Monday. But for what the forecast is showing, the humidity is not supposed to be nearly as bad, so it won't be as tropical as it previously was. Because yeah, in fact, yeah, just 2 or 3 days ago it was 95 degrees Fahrenheit, or that's about 35 degrees Celsius, which is abnormally high for Michigan. Heck, I think a week ago, areas in the Upper Peninsula even got into the low 90s. Which that's very rare. So anyway, just taking a little day trip up today up to the Higgins Lake area. I'm gonna be checking out South Higgins Lake State Park. There's some hiking trails there, wouldn't mind checking out, and then also see what the Deus area has to offer. And yeah, it's kind of like a holiday weekend somewhat. I say somewhat because the 4th of July was literally in the middle of the week. Because it was Wednesday, so like for me it felt very awkward because we didn't, with the exception of the 4th of July itself, we did not get any time off from work. I mentioned in my previous driving video, when I was doing the driving tour of Novi, Michigan, I had off Monday and Tuesday. Wait, sorry. Take that back. I worked Monday and Tuesday. I had off Wednesday for the 4th. And then I had to go back to work the Thursday and Friday. In all honesty, I almost could have taken Thursday and Friday off. It was very quiet. I had 1 or 2 quick customer meetings, but nothing really too major. So if all throughout northern Michigan, people are definitely going to be vacationing up there. It's like, yeah, it's pretty much why I don't usually go to the Traverse City area around this time of the year anymore, just because of how really crowded it is. Well, I guess one exception is if I want to check out the Cherry Festival or something. But yeah, the weekend around the 4th of July is always one of the busiest weekends for people to go up to the northern part of the state. Anyway, so yeah, next year, with the 4th of July being on a Thursday, I will most likely take off that Friday, so I don't have to have off a day and then go back to work and then have the weekend. And then, yeah, trips coming up. Only one currently planned, although others are in the works too, but got 2 more work weeks, and then I'm taking the last full week of July off. I'm planning a trip up to or over to Canada. Can't remember if I announced it in another driving video or not, but in case I did not, I'll be mentioning it here. I'll be I think by the time this video goes up, the trip might even be over with. So this might be more in the way of foreshadowing future videos on this YouTube channel. But I'm planning a week-long trip to Ontario and also Quebec. I'm going to be going to Ottawa for a couple days and then spend a couple days in Montreal. And then head down to Hamilton for a good couple days or so, like Hamilton and the surrounding area. And then on my way from Montreal to Hamilton, I'm making a pit stop over in Kingston. And then when I get back down to the Hamilton area, I'll be weather permitting, of course. Although even if it was raining or something, I definitely want to check out Niagara Falls. Believe it or not, although it's 4 hours away, assuming you drive through Canada, I have never been to Niagara Falls, and I'm 30 years old, and I live in Michigan. What the heck is wrong with me? So anyway, I'm going to be changing just that during this upcoming trip. So it should be quite exciting. But yeah, I have most of everything planned out for the trip, although there's a little bit more of planning I still have to do. Like for all the different sites I want to go visit and all the different food places, and of course a lot of them being Travel the Lights videos. And yeah, for this trip, I'm going to be driving. For the candid trip. Since Ottawa and Quebec are easily accessible by car, especially since I live in southeast Michigan, I'm not renting a car or flying out to Toronto or anything like that. I'm just going to drive there. So, come to think of it, with the exception of things around the state of Michigan, and then maybe just briefly down to Toledo in Ohio, I have not done a full road trip yet this year so far. Because, yeah, if you look at it, everywhere I've gone so far that's been out of state, I've had to fly to, like Colorado, although that was a work trip back in January, and also to Florida when I went down to St. Augustine and Daytona Beach, and then the 2 trips to Texas, with the first being Houston and also Corpus Christi, and then to Austin, and then my trip in April to San Francisco. So let's just say for the Delta Sky miles, I'm definitely accruing them. So yeah, I'll definitely have to, at some point, we'll be getting a free trip with all the Sky miles I've earned. Although I could probably get a free trip right now, theoretically, but I kind of would like to save up the miles even more. So maybe a trip either later this year or next year, I might be able to get either a free or a heavily discounted first class ticket. I've never flown first class before, but get enough miles, I might be able to fly first class and not have to pay a whole lot for it. Definitely still planning another trip to Europe. Nothing scheduled yet, although I'm aiming to visit Austria. And I'm probably going to go in early October, before it gets really cold and snowy there. Somebody got pulled over, and as a matter of fact, back at that, well, not there, but that other median over there, I saw another police officer just parked over there. So this looks like a little speed trap zone. But yeah, it is nice though that the speed limit on I-75, once you go north of Bay City, it's 75 miles an hour. So I'm pretty sure that since they raised the speed limits last year in the rural parts of the state, that police officers are probably more strict about people speeding on these freeways, to where you could probably go like 6 over and you still get a ticket or something. That's what I'm thinking about doing, maybe in early October. I gotta reserve the time off for that. And then I am also thinking about doing a trip, like a long weekend, like around Labor Day weekend. But most likely something within the United States. I have some ideas in mind, but I'm going to keep it quiet about it for now. It's like I'm trying to get in a better habit of letting people know where some of my next travels are. Not just like randomly one of these driving videos, but also in my social media accounts, like my Scottman895 travel Facebook page or my Twitter, or heck, even the Instagram stories. Like I mentioned in my driving video of Highway 24 in the Toledo area, I've been watching a lot of the World Cup lately. As a matter of fact, as I'm recording this video, well, by the time this video goes up, the World Cup's going to be over with. We'll know who the champion is, but we're in the quarterfinals right now, and like yesterday was Belgium versus Brazil. Belgium ended up defeating Brazil in that game. That was a really good game. And then before that, you had France and Uruguay, which that was another pretty good game too. Although France looked like they played very well in that. Today, I'll be missing both games that are on today because I'm out and about. But I know this morning at 10 o'clock is Eastern time is going to be Russia and Croatia. Yeah, I've really been amazed on how well the Russian soccer team's been doing in the tournament, because they had hardly anybody predicted them to make it out of the group stage. But yeah, they've been very impressive. Although, to be honest, they were in one of the weakest groups. Because back during the group stage, they were grouped with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay. But Uruguay's a pretty good team. But at the same time, Saudi Arabia and Egypt don't have the best of teams. Although Egypt does have Salah as one of their players, who's a very good soccer player who plays for Liverpool. Oh, really quick, yeah. We're now getting to the West Branch area. We're just to the south of West Branch. But yeah, the exit we just passed, that's the exit for the main exit for West Branch. So, but anyway, it's like Russia was in a pretty weak group out of all of them. But nevertheless, they've been playing very well, and like the start of the knockout stage. What did they play again? Oh yeah, that's right, Spain. It's like Russia beat Spain, which is pretty impressive. Although it came down to penalty kicks at the end of it, but I'll be really curious to see how far they go. So, but yeah, they play Croatia today, and then the other game is England and Sweden. And England has also been playing very well. They're having their best World Cup run in quite a while. Because yeah, from what I've heard, they have a pretty young team, and they've also been playing very well. The way England's playing, they could possibly win it all, or at least make it to the finals. So as of right now, I'm predicting it's going to be France and England in the championship, with, I'm going to guess, France winning it. We'll see how close my picks are by the time the finals are. You're probably watch it's completely different than what the finals are. You're like, hey, Scott, man, you picked horrible. horribly. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. But we're almost getting to M-55, so I'm going to be getting ready to conclude this video. So I hope you enjoyed this stretch of I-75 from US Highway 23 near Standish up to M-55 East, just west of West Branch. So thank you for watching today's video here. For more great driving videos, definitely get this video over here a nice little poke. So thank you for watching, and this is Scott with the Scottman signing out.